All right, guys. So for today's video, I feel like I have a million things to talk about. I am just fired up right now. And obviously, motivation and inspiration and all that comes in phases. So you'll have periods where you feel zero motivation, and then you'll have other periods where you're feeling as motivated as ever. And I'm at that second, that latter stage right now. So I took a month off, essentially a month off training. And I would dabble in some things. Like one day I came into the gym and just benched, I worked up to like a 331 single on bench. Um, I can't really think of much else that I did over that period. But I basically took a month off training because I just was feeling, the batteries weren't there. Like the batteries needed to be recharged. I wasn't feeling it. So I just had to kind of mentally get back in the game, and I need that time off. But now I feel great. So sometimes you just need to do that. Sometimes you just need to take a little time off the gym. The motivation is not always going to be there. I've been going at this for about 16 years, with the longest break being maybe a week as far as training. And I just needed a little time off. I needed to step away for a bit, and I needed to just eat whatever I wanted and relax. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes it gets busy, life gets stressful, and you just need a little time off. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think every once in a while you need to recharge the batteries. If you constantly compete, and this is something I've kind of changed my mind on. If you constantly compete and you're constantly pushing yourself and you're lifting 24/7 all the time, you're going to burn out eventually. So I think it's good to have phases where you compete, but then phases where you back off as well. I think that's important because it's just one of those things that's difficult. If you're constantly pushing, you're just going to be running on fumes at some point. So I think it's good to have things be cyclical. You push and then you back off. So you have a competition and then you relax for a bit. Or you even have two competitions. You have one competition and then 4 months later you have another one, and you go right into that meet prep. But then you got to have a back off period. So this is something to think about. It's not the worst thing. A few other things to talk about. I am super excited about the opportunities coming up. I never thought, honestly, I'd be talking to the best lifters in the world on a podcast. Like, this was just kind of a thing where the YouTube channel had been dead for 3 years. Like, the YouTube channel didn't grow at all for 3 years, guys. You're sitting at 81,500. I actually was losing subscribers on the YouTube channel because I wasn't posting. I would post like one video every 3 months, and they had no consistency, no theme to them. So the channel was basically just like sitting there. And I'm like, well, there's 80,000 people. And the views are never even anywhere close to that. It's kind of strange how that works. But I'm like, I got to do something with this. I need to segue from lifting hard myself. Because I feel like, this is one reason I always ask this question in my podcast to these great lifters who have accomplished way more than I have. Like, these lifters are at the top of the game. Larry Wheels, Jesus Olivares, guys like that. I ask them, I'm like, what, once you accomplish this upcoming great goal, or, the things you've accomplished, when do you call it quits? What do you say after that? Like, once you've achieved your ultimate goal in lifting, where do you go from there? I always ask that question because it's fascinating to me to gain that insight from different lifters of a high caliber. So I kind of felt like, for me, 2,100 total, 772 squat, 920 deadlift in training, 485 bench in training. These kind of things, I'm like, I feel like I've accomplished what I want to accomplish in powerlifting as far as like the upper numbers. And I still want to lift, but it's just different. So starting the channel, getting the channel going again, I should say, and interviewing these guys has been such an opportunity to continue to learn from the best guys there is. I've talked to John Hack, Johnny Candido, Chance Mitchell, Jesus Olivares, Larry Wheels. Like, these are the best guys. I'm talking to the best guys on a weekly basis. I'm talking to Shane Hunt tomorrow. I'm talking to Bob Matthews, SSJ Bob, this week as well. Like, talking to the best guys is crazy to me. And so it's like a way to always learn more. Because I've been coaching for 10 years, or 9 years that is, and I'm still learning. And I'm learning what everyone is doing, what the best guys are doing, what everyone's doing. So it just helps me out. It helps my clients out, everything. So it's been great. And I'm very excited about some of the collabs coming up. So I have a podcast coming up with a really big name, which is going to be freaking exciting. So that one's going to be fun. And then I also have a collab coming up in about 2 months with a huge, huge freaking name. Like, so unbelievable that this opportunity came to me that I can't even believe it. Like, I can't believe I've been talking to this guy and I'm going to collab with this guy. And it's just unreal. Like, I never would have guessed in a million years that this opportunity would have come. So that's kind of fun. It's crazy to me. It still blows my mind, but there's a lot going on. So we're flying out to Colorado in, what is it now, 3 weeks? Flying out in 3 weeks, I think, or 2.5 weeks. Gonna see my sister out there because she lives out there. I haven't seen her in like 2.5 years. She lives, in Fort Collins. Gonna see her, flying to Denver. And then the deadlift only meet is up in Laramie. So going up to Laramie for that. Got, my training partner's also doing the meet. So I'm gonna handle for him. So that'll be pretty fun. And I'm just excited. Like, I need some different goals outside of lifting, just hitting powerlifting goals. I needed goals as far as something new. Because a lot of people don't know this. Like, I ran a marathon when I was 15 years old. And back then I was like 150 pounds. But I ran a marathon in 4 hours, 24 minutes. So not a great time, but, I trained for 5 months for it, having never ran before. So I've ran, before, half my life ago. And here I am, that itch is kind of coming back a little bit to like push things. So the mile thing's going well. I'm still training for the deadlift, but I have goals now where I'm like, 7-minute mile, 700-pound beltless deadlift, 20 chin-ups. And then I'm thinking in my head, even I'm like, 6-minute mile, 750 beltless deadlift. I got to take it one step at a time, but these are kind of exciting goals. Like, that would be, to me, the absolute, like, test of fitness, to be like, okay, you can run a 6-minute mile and deadlift 750. That'd be like huge. And I want to do it on like a stiff bar and beltless, but we'll see. I'm getting ahead of myself. Obviously, I need to calm down with that. But this is the kind of stuff now where I'm like, yeah, this is fun. I'm getting the itch back. I'm trying to just, I want to be healthy. I want like really good labs. I want all around health now too. So all around health, more athletic, all around performance. And deadlift is the most fun lift. So like bench, I don't care taking a break from for a little bit because I'm like, yeah, it's just bench. But deadlift's fun. Chin-ups have been pretty fun. The running thing's honestly been fun. Like running 2 miles yesterday, it wasn't that bad. Felt good. So I'm like, yeah, I like this mixing it up kind of thing right now. Now, other things, let's see. Oh, by the way, this is like rosacea. So I get this from time to time where my face turns red around my nose. It turns like pink and red and the skin dries out. So does anybody else get that? It's one of those things I've had for like my entire life. It comes and goes. It just randomly comes and goes. So if my face ever looks super red here, that's why. Plus I'm pale, so it makes it look worse. But I just don't care about aesthetics as much anymore, or like trying to be tan. It's not a big thing to me, so. Life is good though, the baby's doing great. My daughter, she's doing phenomenal. My wife takes tremendous care of her. She stays at home with her all day, takes care of her and all that. So that's been a blessing, just having both of them, because, my wife does a lot. Like, I'm at the gym all day. I get here at right before 5 a.m. every day. And she's at home all day with my daughter, taking care of her, raising her, essentially, until I can get home in the evening. And we just got a good thing going. But it's a blessing, guys. Daughter's 6 weeks old now, a little over 6 weeks old. She'll be 7 weeks on Friday. And it's been fun. All the horror stories people tell you about, like, you're not going to sleep at all and it's impossible and all that. Like, yeah, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. And my wife's doing, a lot of that. She's really been phenomenal. So life is good. I can't complain. This video is just a mix of emotions. It's like, I'm thankful, I'm excited, I'm motivated. Life is kind of having me pivot a bit, which is interesting. Like, this is far different than anything I've been doing the last few years, or even the last 10 years. It's just a balance of like family, health, and the gym, having fun. It's different goals, but I'm excited. Like watching, Nick Baird's videos, it's getting me fired up. Like, that's the number one guy I want to do a podcast with, but it's getting me fired up because, like, you can be pretty freaking jacked and be a really good runner, because he's 195 pounds, but he's ripped to shreds and he looks great and he can lift heavy, and you know, it's just pretty impressive. Whether he's on TRT or not, who cares? He's freaking beast. And all the things he's accomplished, like that kind of stuff gets me motivated now. And ironically, his wife is pregnant. I think they're due like any week now, any month, week, something like that. So he's also having a daughter for the first time, which is kind of cool. And he's a year older than me. So he's kind of one of the main motivations right now. But yeah, I just want to get some things out there as far as what I'm feeling right now. And if you like the good content, subscribe, ring the bell, please, comment, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate you all.